Welcome to another video by LDS Nerds, the Obscure Gospel History series. In this video, we explore the experience of Hyrum Smith in Liberty Jail. The majority of the information in this video comes from the book Foundations of the Restoration, which is a compilation of essays from the 45th Annual Brigham Young University Sidney B. Sperry Symposium. In particular, the essay entitled Hyrum Smith's Liberty Jail Letters by Kenneth L. Alford and Craig K. Mansell, which is available at rsc.byu.edu. Much has been written about Joseph Smith's experience in Liberty Jail, but very little from the perspective of Hyrum Smith, the prophet's brother, assistant to the president of the church, and church patriarch. After Joseph Smith and other church leaders were betrayed into the hands of the Missouri militia on October 31, 1838, Hyrum was also captured later that day while attempting to escape to Iowa. Hyrum, Joseph, and 4 others were charged with treason and transported to Liberty Jail in Clay County, where, with the exception of Sidney Rigdon, they were imprisoned the entire winter, from the 1st of December 1838 until the 6th of April 1839, in a cramped, unheated jail. The prisoners could not fully stand, were harassed and taunted by guards, were poisoned several times, and often deprived good food, including being offered human tissue as their only food for a time, and they endured deprivations and sickness. Contact with the outside world was limited to visitors and letters. Between a lack of pen and ink, difficulty receiving letters, and finding trustworthy people to deliver the letters, communication was no small feat at this time. Thanks to the preservation of some of these letters, we have the epistle from Joseph Smith that in part eventually became sections 121 through 123 of the Doctrine and Covenants. We also have some insight as to the experience of Hyrum Smith as well. 7 of the 8 letters known to exist from Hyrum Smith while imprisoned in Liberty Jail were written to his wife Mary Fielding Smith and dated in March and April of 1839, 4 to 5 months into their imprisonment. Mary was finally able to visit with their son Joseph F. Smith at the end of January, after being in poor health following his birth. Visitors declined as the months went on, and information trickling in from the church was dismaying. Hyrum clearly went through great difficulty while imprisoned, but despite his trials, he expressed spiritual resilience. In an undated letter to Mary, he compares their situation to that of Joseph in Egypt, who was sold by his brethren. He also states, "Bonds and imprisonments and persecutions are no disgrace to the saints. It is that is common in all ages of the world since the days of Adam." He asks his wife to pray for him and that he will do the same for her. In his letter dated March 16, 1839, he details an attempt at escape, which was quickly discovered, and expresses a desire for his family to be reunited soon. 3 days later, just one day before Joseph penned his epistle to the church, Hyrum told of his trouble with swollen hands, making it difficult to write, and the sickness which kept him in bed all day. Part of his ill health and trouble sleeping seems to have been from the great anxiety he experienced over his family and the fact that he had yet to hear from Mary via writing, even though she was informed of the ability to have a letter delivered. The next day, Hyrum again expresses sorrow and confusion at not hearing from Mary. He tells her, "I thought if you could not write, you could send a friendly word. I do not wish to harrow up your feelings if they are innocent, but I thought it strange that you did not send one word to me when I thought you knew I was so anxious to hear from you. If you have no feelings for me as a husband, you could send or cause to be sent some information concerning the little babe or those little children that lies near my heart." As indicated in Joseph's pleading prayer to God while in jail, Satan obviously had the men desperate and near spiritual lows towards the end of their incarceration, and Hyrum was no exception. He seemed to think that Mary may be withholding communication purposely, and suggests she may no longer have feelings for him as a husband. Unlike his other letters, he did not sign this one. Mary, it turns out, was very ill, and only eventually able to make it to Illinois with other saints, from the care of her sister Mercy. Despite negative feelings and an overall weariness besetting the group, there was great hope to be had in a revelation from the Lord which Joseph had received around the same time. It's clear that Joseph and others, especially Hyrum, were able to discuss and ponder on the aspects of the Lord's direction, as similar themes made it into Hyrum's letters and his diary. The revelation clearly was of great comfort to all the prisoners. The saints found the epistle hopeful as well. Mary Fielding Smith finally wrote to Hyrum in early April that it was like food for the hungry. The group left Liberty Jail April 6th, where they were taken to Daviess County only to endure 10 days of a drunken grand jury. They were granted a change of venue and on the way there were let go by the sheriff. Joseph and Hyrum met their families in Quincy, Illinois on April 22, 1839. The next 5 months in Illinois were relatively peaceful for Hyrum and his family. The experience at Liberty Jail changed these leaders of the church. Although the Lord allowed them to be taken to virtually their breaking point, He delivered them and used the experience as promised for their good. About his confinement, Hyrum later stated, "From my close and long confinement, as well as from the sufferings of my mind, I feel my body greatly broke down and debilitated. My frame has received a shock from which it will take a long time to recover. Yet, I am happy to say that my zeal for the cause of God and my courage in defense of the truth are as great as ever. My heart is fixed, and yet feel a determination to do the will of God in spite of persecutions, imprisonments, or death. I can say with Paul that none of these things move me, so that I may finish my course with joy." Hyrum's grandson Joseph Fielding Smith, at the dedication of Liberty Jail as a church historic site, said, "The hardships, the persecution, the almost universal opposition toward the church at that time were necessary. At any rate, they became school teachers to our people. They helped to make them strong." That's all for this video. Please let us know in the comments what other subjects you would like to see in the Obscure Gospel History series, and like and subscribe as well. Thank you for watching another LDS Nerds creation. Please visit our store for geeky gospel-themed merchandise.